we can continue to use Bell's ridiculous Bible babble to illustrate Bible tool mistake number 2, misusing words of origin. Let me explain what that means. First of all, remember that Bell said that eternal doesn't always have to mean eternal. He also said that punishment doesn't always have to mean punishment. Speaking of the Greek word for punishment, again, he said, the word kolazo is a term from horticulture. It refers to the pruning and trimming of the branches of a plant so it can flourish. So the same bait and switch that he used for the word eternal, he also did it for the word for punishment. And here's where origin words come in. In the case of punishment, the word in Matthew 25 isn't kolazo, as Bell says, but is in fact kolasis. And when you look at lexical entries, you should find them coded with a number, which helps with the identification and location of words in the lexicon. So when you look at the lexical entry for kolasis, you'll see in the definition something like correction, punishment, penalty. And this will be followed by a line that starts with the word origin. And in this case, it says from 2849. What this means is that the word kolasis has its linguistic origin in another word. That kolasis is from the word that's been assigned the number 2849. That's the word of origin. Now, we've already seen the definition options for kolasis: correction, punishment, penalty, maybe chastisement, things like that. So where did Bell's idea for pruning and trimming come from? It came from 2849, the word of origin. And that's the word that Bell says is the word for punishment, kolazo, bait and switch. So when we look up kolazo, the word of origin, in Liddell Scott, again, for example, we find definitions like to curtail, dock, prune. Or in the Freiberg Greek lexicon, which seems like the one Bell went to, it says to cut off, lop, trim, hence to prune. So that's how Bell got that definition of pruning and trimming instead of punish. He found the word in the lexicon, then followed the link back to the word of origin. And now he's suddenly got an ear-tickling word that's way more palatable. As Bell said, it's done so that the sinner, the plant, can flourish. Plus, it's the type of so-called biblical insight that far too many Christians are eager to eat up, because it gives the appearance of providing a deeper meaning of Scripture. But it's not deeper at all. It's just flat out wrong. Because if Bell were intent on correctly handling the Scriptures, on faithfully teaching what it actually says, he would have looked at the Freiberg entry for the actual word in Matthew 25, and he would have found the definition for kolasis as an action, retribution, punishment. And it's literally alongside the actual reference to Matthew 25:46, right there. But he didn't do that, did he? So while looking at words of origin or root words can be helpful in gaining a fuller understanding of a biblical word or concept, that's not the same thing as giving us license to ignore the actual meaning of a word and replace it with a meaning from the word of origin. That's just not how language works. That would be like saying that something that's handy, as in convenient, means that it must require the use of your hands. Or that a person who has a colorful personality, it means that he actually changes color with his moods, right? That's the same thing we have here. Many words have origin words, but that's all they are, words of origin. They relate to the newer word, but they don't fully define it. And when you mess around with origin words like that, doing a bait and switch or misunderstanding the purpose of words of origin, it will only lead to wacky, false teaching and a wrong understanding of Scripture.